I've got something behind me, and this is super cool. You know, I love projects, and I know I've got quite a few projects going on. I'm talking about my camper and whatever else not, my van that's in the shop. But right now we're living in crazy times where it's almost now easier to find some of these projects, the vehicles themselves, than it is to actually get anything completed, because that camper, for example, has been waiting on some parts for um, whatever. It's going to be going on 4 months while waiting on some parts that I need to get that completed, or getting an appointment to get stuff done. So it's been challenging trying to get through some of these things. But anyways, I digress. Behind me is something that I think is super cool, and something that I'm going to start working on. Never had anything like this before, and I'm going to flip the camera around and kind of show you guys. All right, so why get a Lexus? I don't know. I saw it and I had to have it, so I got it. Um, and it's actually honestly kind of perfect, because we're living in a crazy world right now where, you know, I used to be able to walk into any store and just pick up parts or whatever I need for my vehicles just like that. But now, for example, that RV over there is been waiting for 2, 3 months now for some parts to get in, and it's going to be another 2 months before they get in, and then finally I can get that worked on, or and then finally can get some work done on that. And then similar thing with the van or anything else that I'm working on. Everything is just so painfully slow. And I'm not one of those people that likes to build things over 10 years or whatever. I'm more like, I want to get it done so that I can see the final product and then move on to the next thing. So it's kind of interesting right now the way things are working out. But the beauty of this build is that so the idea of getting this is to enable me to be able to work on multiple things, right? So maybe when one thing is waiting, the other thing is kind of cooking up, and vice versa. So I like the 4Runner. I think it's one of those vehicles. I've never owned one. I've driven one before, but never owned one myself. And I don't think I like the way it drove, right? I test drove one. I don't know if I've got a video on that on this channel or not, but I test drove one and I wasn't super impressed by the way it handles, but I love the look of it. I think it's a great vehicle, and with some suspension work, right? We all buy these vehicles and you do some suspension work. I bet you could get it to drive real nice, in my own opinion. But otherwise, love 4Runners. One day I'm going to have one. I just haven't had one yet. This here is supposed to be a 4Runner. I think overseas they call it a Land Cruiser 150 or Prado, something like that. But it's built on the same frame as the 4Runner as well, so it's kind of 4Runner-ish, and it actually shares a lot of parts with the 4Runner. It's not a 4Runner, but it shares a lot of parts with it. There's things that are clearly different because this is supposed to be more luxury, depending on what you think luxury is. But you can see with certain things that they kind of skimped on that luxury, right? If you're looking at the stereo system, for example, is very rudimentary in its look and operation as well. The screen is very pixelated, if you want, or dull, or just not 2020, which is what this is. It doesn't give you that wow factor. It's got all the right things inside it, like you can stream Bluetooth audio and those kinds of things, but you do not get that luxury 2020 feel to it whenever you're looking at it. But Toyota has always been kind of behind when it comes to things like that. Um, on the inside, really beautiful steering wheel. I wish everything was as immaculate as the steering wheel. The steering wheel is just done really well. Very sporty, very, it feels good to the touch. It's got wood on it, and amazing steering wheel. I wish the rest of the vehicle has had this level of detail in it. But I like the four-wheel drive options that it's got in it. It's got the, four high, it's got the four low, and it's an actual four-wheel drive as opposed to an all-wheel drive vehicle, right? So there's a big distinction when it comes to those two things. This is a four-wheel drive vehicle, and it's all the time four-wheel drive, not all-wheel drive or all the time all-wheel drive. It's actually four-wheel drive. Anyways, I'm going to do what I think is going to be a walkthrough or a better walkthrough sometime in the future, but this is more to just kind of get it out there. I'm super excited about the project, and I can't wait to start working on it. What else? On the outside, the tires need to go, of course. I think that's going to be one of the first things that I do, lift and tires. I think that has the ability to convert anything, from this soccer mom look, if you will, or this grocery getter kind of look to something more, a little bit more, I don't know, off-roady or overlandy or whatever you want to call it. So I'm looking forward to getting that lift done, and I'm hoping that the parts are available. I'm thinking Icon, I think, is one of the more famous kits out there for them. So I'm thinking like an Icon lift kit and some kind of Nito tire of some sort, but depending, of course, once again, on availability. So that's going to be something that I look forward to doing right away, to kind of already change it, because I'm going to try to drive it daily as well. So I'd love to change it right away so it's not the way it looks right now. Front grille, very interesting the way they did that. It's taken some getting used to. I'm starting to kind of like it, but it's definitely interesting the way that whole thing bulges forward and extends all the way from the top to the ground. This is technically supposed to be a very good off-road vehicle, right? Because of its heritage with the Prado, the Land Cruiser 150, and whatever else not. But they've added elements to this vehicle, what I like to call a body kit, to it. And, anybody who's from the old days with the Fast and Furious and whatever else not, and taking your Civics and putting the body kits on them, kind of did all that. But this is exactly kind of the same kind of situation where they took a Prado or Land Cruiser and then they just kind of cladded it up with all this stuff on it for the American market, right? So that it looks luxury. It wouldn't be luxury if it didn't have the big air dam in the front, the running boards on the sides. But all that stuff, I think, has to go in order to really bring it into its own, into the overlanding vehicle that I'm thinking that it can become. So first thing I'm going to do is a lift, and then wheels and tires, and then start working on some outside elements before winter. For example, do a roof rack of some sort, because just for going skiing, there's not a lot of room in here where you'd want to put skis and that kind of stuff. So a roof rack is definitely going to be key, and then bumpers front and rear. I don't want to change it a whole lot, I don't think. I want it to still look Lexus and luxury, but just more overlandy at the same time. So it's going to be kind of an interesting mix. I've seen some ones done real well, like it's really, really nice. You look at them and it's like, wow, this is an amazing build. But then I think it's gone too far overlandy. You know what I'm saying? I want it to still be something you can drive daily, and you look at it like, oh, that's a nice Lexus. Nice build. Not, oh, nice overlanding vehicle. I don't want it to be like in your face like that. So, but we'll see as it progresses what it becomes. So those are going to be some of the first things that I get done, and I'll make sure I post them. And I'm not going to do all the work myself. I feel like if I did that, that's going to take even longer, and I would like to get it in some kind of state of readiness before the winter season even hits. So I'm going to be looking forward to working with some partners. I already actually made a contact with somebody who has a shop, and they actually work on Toyotas. So I look forward to maybe shooting some video out there, see how it all goes, and seeing how this plays out. But that is going to be the idea for this vehicle. I'll do a proper walk around and kind of give you guys my driving impressions and everything else once I've had it for a little bit. First, but One thing that was cool about it, and why did I actually get this? I test drove a Land Rover and I test drove an AMG, or not an AMG, but a G-Wagon, well, a G-Wagon AMG 63. And that AMG 63 is an insane vehicle that just didn't have anything new enough. The body style changed in 2019, so I'd want to get a 2019 and forward. Not just the body, but a lot of the things with the steering and the and all sorts of manner of things changed in 2019. So I would like to get a 2019 and on, but they didn't have anything like that. They're completely out of stock. And believe this or not, they're selling for $100,000 over MSRP if you get a new one. That's absolutely insane, right? They had some 2016s, and even those are $110,000, which also is insane. But ultimately, I think that's a vehicle that I would love to have just to kind of I think it's the ultimate off-roading vehicle, believe it or not, with its center diff, its front and rear lockers. And I don't know if you've watched the videos, but they've got these crazy videos where they're driving this thing almost vertical up on the proving grounds. You know how Rubicon or Jeep has the Rubicon trail? They've got this thing in Germany where they drive this thing up a hill, stop halfway, and then back up. It's completely insane. So I love machines, and owning something like that, I think to me is like, it's just super cool. But unlike anyway, I digress. What I was actually getting at is I drove that. That was powerful. The AMG 63 is an insane engine. Absolutely, like you, it's amazing. I don't know what its 0 to 60 is, but it is amazingly fast. Anyways, the Land Rover Defender, and I've got a video about that, and I don't remember what I even said in that video, but I drove it again and so underwhelming. I know one day I will buy one, but wasn't super impressed. It was a inline six. So it wasn't even the four-cylinder, so an inline six, and the acceleration, the handling, nothing was quite wowing. I like the outside sometimes, depending on what angle I look at it and I'm thinking that one day it would be nice to get that and kind of build it out. I think it would look real nice. So in the future, yes, I'll get it. But honestly, after I drove this, I was like, this is what I gotta have. This drives really well. I love the way it drives. Which is amazing, right? It actually drives really, really well. On the highway, slow speeds, everything, good turning radius. I actually like it a whole lot. So I think it's going to be exciting. It's going to be an exciting build. The handle's real good on the road as well. But we'll do a complete kind of walk through here in the near future where I kind of take you through everything about it and just kind of show you guys what it's all about and how it all works, or what I've discovered. But for right now, that's about that. And I'm going to conclude this video before it becomes 800 minutes. But I look forward to starting the build, and I look forward to hearing from some of you guys that have already built some of these. Like, what's the websites? Where do you guys go for parts and all that kind of stuff? So if you've got that kind of information, super appreciate it. Never owned a Toyota before, so this is going to be new territory for me. I've had Jeeps, Quadratec, or four-wheel parts or something like that, right? But I'm not sure where you go to for pure Toyota focused parts. So anyways, that's about it for right now. I look forward to building this. Until then, peace.